Welcome to Moose Training's video, Hitting a Home Run with Your Heart of the Community Report, How to Get the Grade You Deserve. I'm Maureen Powelson and I'll be presenting this short tutorial geared toward those of you who have a general understanding of the Heart of the Community program. If you have more basic questions regarding Heart of the Community reporting, such as how do I access the report, who should be completing it, and when is it due, please visit Moose International's website and search on Heart of the Community. There you'll find many resources to assist you. But for now, let's get back to why you're here watching. You and your lodge would love to knock your Heart of the Community report out of the park. In order to do so, you're going to need a game plan. Today's game plan includes the following learning objectives. To begin with, you'll learn to properly categorize your lodge's donations and efforts. You'll understand the need to give specific and complete details for each entry, answering what, who, how, and when. You'll also learn to include only those efforts and donations made on behalf of your Moose Lodge. And finally, you'll understand the importance of diversifying across initiatives. Some of the most common mistakes seen by our activities department when grading include efforts and donations which are improperly categorized. An example of this would be a lodge that's done some volunteering for a local youth group. When it came time to report it, they mistakenly did so under Big Brothers Big Sisters. In actuality, that type of volunteerism should be categorized under local efforts. Another mistake we see frequently is the use of vague entries, or entries that are lacking specific details regarding the effort or donation. An example of this would be a lodge that enters only the words Endowment Fund under Mooseheart Moose Haven. We need more details about that donation, including the amount that it was made for, as well as the date that the donation was made. And finally, a mistake we see far too frequently is when lodges are entering personal efforts versus those made on behalf of their own Moose Lodge. Quarterly reports are submitted through Moose Admin and once received are graded by Moose International staff. Points are awarded for each valid, complete entry that's properly categorized. The grades are as follows. Any lodge earning 30 or more points will receive a grade of Superior. Those lodges scoring between 20 and 29 points will receive a grade of Excellent. Good is the grade given to all lodges scoring between 10 and 19 points. Any lodge that scores 9 or fewer points will not receive a grade for that quarter. It's important to remember that Moose International does not accept late reports. No report means no grade. In order to avoid that pitfall, aim to have your report completed and submitted at least a week prior to the deadline. This should be relatively easy to accomplish as the report is available to you virtually anywhere. All you need is a computer and internet access. Another very important rule to remember as you complete your report is that every report must have an entry in at least 2 of the categories in order to be eligible to earn a grade. So no matter how many valid entries you may submit, it will all be for naught if you don't have representation in at least 2 of the initiatives. They can be any combination of core, companion, and local efforts, but again, please remember, entries in only one initiative, no matter the amount of potential points, will result in no grade. So by now you're probably wondering just exactly how points are awarded. To explain, we'll take a look at the Heart of the Community diagram, examining each ring in detail. We'll start with our inner ring, which consists of the core initiatives, or the primary service programs that are endorsed and promoted by Moose International. Let's start with Mooseheart Moose Haven. This is where you would enter those endowment fund donations that I referenced earlier, being certain to include the amount as well as the date that it was made. If your lodge has made more than one endowment fund donation this quarter, please combine the amounts into one total number and enter it on the line, as well as the dates that it was given. You're also going to enter any other donations or volunteering that your lodge has done for Mooseheart or Moose Haven. Tommy Moose also falls within our core initiatives. Please enter the number of Tommy Moose dolls that you have purchased and distributed, being sure to include the organization to whom they were donated and the date that they were donated. Our core initiatives also includes Special Olympics. This is where you would enter your lodge's efforts and donations that were made to your local Special Olympic groups. Please keep in mind, your lodge should no longer be earmarking donations to Moose Charities for Special Olympics. Safe Surfin' also falls within our core initiatives. Please enter any hosting of Child ID events that your lodge has done, as well as any Cop in a Box or Protect the Protector bulletproof vests that have been donated. You also should include any Moose Charities donations that have been specifically earmarked for Safe Surfin'. Our core initiatives also includes veterans programs. Please enter any effort or donation made on behalf of your lodge to organizations that support non-member veterans. It could be groups such as the American Legion or the VFW, etc. Please do not enter any events that you have hosted for your valued veterans here. And finally, within the core initiatives, we have the Youth Awareness Program. Please enter any monies that you have donated to Moose Charities and specifically earmarked for youth awareness. You should also enter any hosting of conferences or congresses that your lodge has done, as well as if your lodge has sponsored a student or coordinated a kids' talk here. For every properly entered line item within the core initiatives, your lodge will be awarded 5 points. The next ring consists of our companion initiatives, which include nationally and internationally recognized programs that are similar to our core initiatives, including organizations such as Make-A-Wish Foundation and Big Brothers Big Sisters. Please enter any hosting or donations that you have done for these organizations here. Emergency services are also included within our companion initiatives. Please enter any hosting or donating or volunteering that your lodge has done for your local police, fire, or EMT here. Keep in mind, if your lodge is registered as a certified emergency center, you should be entering it on your report every quarter. You will receive points each time, regardless of whether or not your services were utilized that quarter. Youth sports also falls within our companion initiatives. If your lodge has supported a local sporting team, volunteered for them, or donated to them, please enter that effort or donation here. Scouting also falls within our companion initiatives. Any hosting or donating that your lodge has done for local Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops should be entered here, even if it's as simple as you provided them with storage space. Companion initiatives also includes the Salvation Army. Enter your lodge's donations and efforts in volunteerism to the Salvation Army here. And finally, within the companion initiatives, we have the DARE and Red Ribbon programs. Please enter any donations or efforts or hosting for these two programs that your lodge has done here. You will be awarded 3 points for each accurately entered line item within the companion initiatives. The final outer ring of our Heart of the Community diagram is made up of our local volunteer services. This ring captures all donations and efforts which do not specifically fall under the core or companion initiatives. So basically, this is anything that benefits either your community as a whole or non-member residents of your community. It could include donations made to local groups such as the American Red Cross, or homeless shelters, or local churches, schools, food banks, or blood banks. This initiative really gives your lodge the opportunity to be flexible with how you give and volunteer, allowing you to follow the passions of your members. For every properly entered line item, your lodge will earn 2 points. Some of the most common entry strikeouts include entering donations or efforts that have been made by an individual member, whether it's an individual member's time spent as a baseball coach or volunteering as a Cub Scout leader, or any donation that they may have made to a charity. If you enter these on the report, they will result in 0 points, as we are really looking for those efforts and donations that have been made on behalf of your lodge. Also, any donation or effort that cannot be verified by Moose International will result in 0 points. Please provide specific details so verification can be done and you can get the points that you deserve. Also, any donation or effort that was made on behalf of Women of the Moose or the Moose Legion should not be included on your report. And finally, efforts or donations that have been made for a Moose member do not belong on your Heart of the Community report either, as that's really considered taking care of our own rather than community service. Moose International will no longer assume or correct or recategorize your entries as they had done in the past. So if you've recently received a grade that was puzzling, it could be for some of the following reasons. Perhaps you used an acronym. Always write out the name of the organization or the group in full so that the staff at Moose International understands exactly who is benefiting. Or maybe you entered an effort or donation in more than one initiative. You will only receive credit for one entry. Or perhaps your terminology was just too vague and you used a phrase similar to one listed below, such as, "we are supporting" or "we are continuing to." Remember, please be specific in order to earn the points that you so justly deserve. It's very important to the validity of your entries to be specific and concrete, answering those questions I mentioned earlier regarding who, what, where, and how. An entry that does exactly this might sound something like, "Our lodge served meals during a Thanksgiving dinner held on November 26 at Mutual Ground, a homeless shelter for women in Aurora, Illinois." Also, be succinct. Although we've asked you for details, please keep your efforts to one line. Be sure to have entries in 2 or more initiatives. Diversify your efforts and donations. Again, remember, it can be any combination of initiatives, but entries in only one initiative will result in no grade. Make sure you're entering your entries in the proper categories. If you're uncertain of where they should go, seek out the advice of someone who has more experience than you or talk with your territory manager. Only report each effort in the quarter in which it occurred and only enter it once. Use your territory manager as a reference. Ask them to look over your report before you've submitted it. If you aim to have it done a week in advance, that should allow you plenty of time to do so and still submit within the deadline. We all know that being well equipped sets us up for success. So I have one final piece of advice that I would like to give to you when filling out the report. Be sure to use the past tense to describe your lodge's actions, using phrases like those listed below. The lodge hosted, the lodge purchased and distributed, or the lodge donated, the lodge volunteered, or the lodge raised. Please remember, if something has not yet occurred and you can't use the past tense when describing it, it should not be entered on your Heart of the Community report. Thank you for joining me for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I wish you all the best in knocking your Heart of the Community report out of the park. Please check Moose International's website frequently for more Moose training videos.